Hey friends, fellow explorers, we're back at it again. This time I'm going to share with you 3 really important tips for brewing excellent coffee. But first, well, you see this behind us? We got to get across it. Okay, stick around. So as you can see by all the snow, Mother Nature threw us a bit of a sucker punch this year and dumped on us early in the season. I had planned to do this without snow, but doesn't look like that's going to be the choice. Whoops, sorry about that. So anyways, we got to get across the creek. Well, we know how to do that, don't we? Because I showed you that last week. And if you missed it, which side? This side, up here, I'll put a link. Okay. Trying to change my shoes so we can go over there. Mamma mia, that's cold. Uh-oh. Okay. Woo! Not this spot. No, we're going over there. Okay, so just a second here. Gotta grab my gear. We're gonna just refigure this crossing point. That spot there, super cold, super deep. Well, not super deep, just deep enough that I would get wet up to my waist. So we're just gonna search around here for a moment. I think I see another good spot up here, and we'll give it another go. Okay, one other thing. Remember last time when I said make sure you pick shoes that you can tramp in after you cross the creek? Well, down there are my level 6 tramping shoes. I don't really advise this, but we're gonna do this live. Okay, that really is really cold. Whew. I mean, like really cold, people. Oh. You know that like achy, painful cold? That's the kind of cold we're talking about. Okay, I promise you this coffee is going to be worth it. It's going to be amazing. Better be. So you're probably wondering why all the hard work. Well, there's a reason. All the hard work is so that we can get fresh water. Water is the most important part of coffee. How important? Well, the golden ratio of coffee says it's 18:1. So for every ounce of coffee, you need 18 ounces of water. That's a pretty big ratio. So the most important thing in your cup of coffee is the water. So let's start with fresh water. And if you can see way up behind me here, the water comes right out of the mountainside. And then it's carefully moss filtered all the way down to us. All right, so we talked about it, about how important water is. So let's grab some fresh water. Oh yeah, now we're talking. Okay, so let's get down to business. We got number 1. Tip number 1, fresh water. We definitely got fresh water right out of the mountain. Number 2, tip number 2, fresh roasted coffee. And when I say fresh roasted coffee, I mean coffee that has been roasted no less than 4 days ago and no more than, let's say, 3 weeks. There's this sweet spot of about 2 weeks after coffee is roasted that it's just wickedly awesome. So that's what you want. Now, how do you find that? Well, trick is you gotta go to usually a local roaster. So there's a tip number 3, I guess. Support local roasters. They'll support you and you get fresh coffee in return. But what you want to look for in the bag, and I'll give you a couple examples, is you want to look for a roasted on date, not a best before date. Best before dates don't really mean anything. It's actually painful how little they mean. So, roasted on date. No less than 4 days, no more than 3 weeks, okay? So tip number 3, fresh ground coffee, okay? We're gonna kick it old school today with a mortar and pestle, pound it up, put it in our little French press here, and rock out the coffee. All right, here we go. Trusty jet boil. Okay, we got boiling water. So, oh yeah. Ooh. Got a little carried away. But one last thing while we're on this. So, coffee is coffee. If you take and add cream and sugar to it, it's kind of like a coffee cocktail then. It's not really coffee anymore. There you have it, folks. 3 tips for amazing coffee. Number 1, fresh water, right out of the mountain. Number 2, freshly roasted coffee. So remember, it is no less than 4 days, no more than 3 weeks, okay? And you're looking for roasted on date, not best by date. That stuff is crap. And then last but not least, fresh ground coffee. You want to grind it right before you brew it. Okay, until next time, stay wild. That is good. It's warming me up. Oh, that is good coffee.